Supersets, like the name suggests, are when we juice up a set by pairing two or more different exercises together without taking a break between them. Commonly, supersets are either complementary, where similar muscle groups are challenged by combining exercises, or antagonist, where opposing muscles are worked together. By working out in such a way, we can add significant density to our training, saving time and also adding variety. But the question we have today though is, are supersets good for calisthenics? Let's get into it. How you doing, Cali Crowd? Welcome back to the channel that makes calisthenics simple. Supersets are a technique typically utilized by bodybuilders looking to pile on muscle. We know that total volume, so reps times sets times weight, is a major factor when it comes to hypertrophy. And all things kept equal, supersets definitely allow us to increase our volume, and this can be applied to calisthenics athletes for similar effect. But when it comes to understanding how to use supersets for calisthenics, there's a little bit of nuance that we need to consider. And the first of those is that supersets can really suck for compound movements. One of the main hallmarks of bodyweight training is the compound nature of the movements. With one calisthenics exercise, we can tax various muscle groups in the body, making this form of training great for developing a well-balanced physique. When it comes to supersets though, this advantage may actually become a bit of a weakness in that pairing two or more exercises that lean on various different muscle groups may actually introduce a level of unsustainable fatigue. Consider a pull-up, for example, where the lats, delts, traps, rhomboids, biceps all drive this movement, but the core, glutes, quads, etc. also work to provide an element of stability throughout the movement as well. If this was paired in a complementary superset with, say, an inverted row, the sheer volume of work would be enough to tire us out when compared to the amount of reps we could complete if these two exercises were divorced from each other. Even if we take the same example and we consider an antagonist superset where opposing muscle groups are worked. For example, a pull-up and a dip, vertical pull versus vertical push, we run into similar problems where the drivers of movement in an exercise become the stabilizers of movement in the other exercise. This would make it very difficult to manage intra-workout fatigue as well as overall recovery if we continually put in the same muscles under stress. Supersets are also terrible when it comes to calisthenics skill work too. Generally, working on multiple new skills at the same time distracts our ability to progress efficiently. So doing so within the same set if skills are your goal is even worse. Take L-sitting and handstanding as an example. Both require a significant amount of pushing strength, scapular control, wrist mobility, core strength, proprioceptive awareness. We could go on. If we superset these two skills, especially while we're in the acquisition phase and still learning how to do them, the quality of the skills will likely take a hit. And we know that when it comes to developing new motor patterns, quality time and quality practice is one of, if not the most important aspect of progression. To be clear, supersets in the context of our conversation today is very different from flows, where we transition from one skill to another. L-sit to handstand is a skill in its own right and is very different from trying to learn to L-sit and trying to learn to handstand at the same time. A similar downside can be seen with calisthenic supersets for building strength. For optimal strength building, we need to lift as close to maximal effort for minimal reps with long breaks between sets. And so we must ask ourselves that if we have the ability to do another maximal load set immediately after just doing a different one, have we really pushed ourselves as far as we could have gone in that first exercise? We may feel the need to maximize every single second in the gym by lifting something, but we should acknowledge that there is a huge amount of value in the rest period between sets as we get ready to perform another. If you do a set of handstand push-ups and then go into explosive pull-ups, do we honestly feel that we can bring the same energy to the party that each exercise is throwing? Probably not. All round, this probably sounds pretty negative, so the question then becomes, if we want to exploit the benefits of supersets that we mentioned earlier, how can we get to a point where we can understand how and when to use supersets for calisthenics? Well, we can still use supersets for building muscle. Weight training, calisthenics, the rules of how to build muscle apply whatever modality of training you subscribe to. If your primary goal is to build muscle, then supersets will be a fantastic tool for you, even if calisthenics is your primary modality of training, as long as you're achieving significant volume with that training. This may mean that you need to regress some of the bodyweight exercises that you can do in a solo set because you're pairing it with another movement. We can also use supersets to incorporate weight training. The Cali Illuminati will have you believe that it's calisthenics exercises or no exercises when it comes to training, but we can reap the benefits of both, and supersets allow us to do this in a really efficient way. Calisthenics is great because of the amount of scalable compound exercises that we play around with, but if we want to dial up the focus on a specific area of weakness, this becomes tough if we are unyielding to the idea of using weights. Supersets are a fantastic way to marry these two ideas, and we can perform our more taxing compound lifts and tether to it a weighted lift that allows our training to be more targeted. We can also use supersets to accommodate prehabilitation aspects of our training. In order to have a holistic approach to fitness, there are probably some things that we know we should do, but when we are time poor, they're probably also the first things that get discounted. Exercises focused on flexibility or joint hygiene usually only get prime attention too late, after we're already injured. By supersetting typical calisthenics lifts with stretching or prehab work, we can make sure we're saving time on essential aspects of our health. Supersets are effective when used correctly. If we avoid trying to use them like a HIIT workout to just cram in as much work as possible into a relatively short time, and instead target the muscle building and time saving benefits of supersets with intentionality, we can achieve fantastic results. But crowd, I want to know what you think. Do you use supersets in your training? Are supersets better than normal sets in your opinion? Let me know down in the comment section below, and crowd, I'll see you in the next one.